Ready? Hello again, everyone, and welcome to our kickoff to the 2024 season, the Chambers Academy Live Coaches Show with Coach Jason Allen. We're live here from Monte Alban 3 on the north side of Lafayette. We want to thank Roxana and Luis for hosting us again this year. We're really thrilled to have this big crowd here, and before anything else gets going, I want to welcome in my broadcast partner, Chester Carter.
Sid, great to be back here to start another season of Rebel football, and again, thanks to Luis and Roxanne here at Monte Alban and Farmers and Merchants for sponsoring the Coaches Show this year as well.
Well, Chester, this is your third year of putting up with me, just so you know that. So it may be another challenging year.
Hey, it's okay, man. 6 years doing the YouTube channel here at the Chambers, and it has been a blast. Each year we try something different and try something new. So this year we'll have to figure out what that is.
Well, we will. We're going to have a lot of fun, and boy, it gets started in just a short while here. We'll be traveling over to Starkville on Friday, and we certainly expect the CA family to travel with us, and it'd be a big crowd.
Absolutely. Hope that everybody can make the trip over there to Starkville to play the Volunteers. First time the Rebels have ever met them.
That's right.
So it'll be the battle of East Alabama and East Mississippi.
Well, that's true. And we've got some information, just some limited information on Starkville we'll get into later on. I think just the thing to remember is we are talking about the defense
schedule here as we get into this broadcast.
And just so everybody knows, let me give you a quick rundown of what we're going to do tonight. And it's our 4 segments. We're going to talk about the biggest challenges of the year. We'll sit down and go through some different things and try to look at production replacement, key players, things of that nature. We'll also review a little bit of last year and talk about how those players will be replaced and what the impact will have on the entire team. We'll spend just a little bit of time with our senior representative. I'm not even going to introduce him yet. We're going to wait and bring him up here in just a couple minutes. And
Thursday night coaches show here from Monte Alban, 7 o'clock during the regular season. So we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back and go over some of the new schedule, and some of the new opponents in our region.
Right. Thanks,
We're back after this.
Farmers and Merchants Bank, established in 1934, is your friendly hometown bank with 3 convenient locations in Dadeville. Farmers and Merchants Bank, established in 1934, is your friendly hometown bank with 3 convenient locations in Dadeville, Hughley, and beautiful Lafayette, Alabama. Farmers and Merchants is ready to serve your personal and business banking needs. Great rates, great service. Farmers and Merchants is ready to serve. Give them a call at 334-864-9941. Farmers and Merchants Bank, proud supporters of Chambers Academy.
Craving some Mexican food? Do not think about it twice. Come visit us at Moneman number 3, located Highway 77, 1310 Highway 77, Lafayette, Alabama. We have the best Mexican food around. Cheese dip, quesadillas, farm specials, north specials, share specials, delicious salsa, the best salsa in Chambers County. Do not think about it, and also can meet the Chihuahua, Moneba number 3.
All right, folks, and welcome back here to the Coaches Show here at Monte Alban. And in this section here, we're going to talk about some of the new opponents that we're going to be seeing in 3A here for the Rebels. In the Region 1 with Chambers is Banks. We're familiar with them as they were our opponent in the championship game last year. Bessemer. Edgewood has been a familiar foe over the years, and Valiant Cross. We've ran into them a couple of times through over the years, and they're down in Montgomery. And David's going to show up the copy of the schedule there for folks to see at home. As we mentioned, we're going to go to Starkville for the first week here, come back home, and then hit the road again and down to Fort Dale and to visit the Eagles down there, and we've only played them twice from what I could see over the years. And then we'll have a September 6th game away at Valiant Cross, and we lead that series 2-0. And our first home game at Torbert Allen Field will be on September 13th against Edgewood.
It'll be nice to get back home after opening 3 games on the road.
That's right, yeah. And then, hey, the next week we hit the road again, back up to Bessemer. And then we get the nice home stretch of 4 games, hopefully in a row there. We have Morgan Academy. We'll welcome them in from Selma. And Evangel Alabaster will be our first meeting with those guys. And October 11th game with Lakeside is canceled, but hopefully there's something in the works there coming up. And then on October 18th, we will host the Jets here, and the Rebels lead that series with them 5-0. October 25th, we're going to host Crenshaw.
That is what I understand. It's a home game, and we have added Crenshaw. Macon East dropped off our schedule, so Coach Allen was able to work something out there and get Crenshaw here and pick up our 5th home game.
Excellent. And then the last game of the regular season is November 1st down in Abbeville. And then the playoffs start, round 1, 2, and then the championship. Hopefully that's where we end up at again this year.
Well, you think about the challenges of moving up into a ranking. I don't think a lot of these teams are very familiar. We're familiar with them most recently, but it's teams that we have played. Very, very rare that we wouldn't have played someone somewhere along the line. But I think it's important for us to just do what we always do. We're going to play whoever's on our schedule, and we're going to play them tough. And I think the coaches will echo this all year long. We've got to win the region. You've got to get that region secured, also secure home field advantage for the playoffs, and then move back on the road for the championship game. And I think that'll be our goal starting out, but we'll get confirmation from that. From our coaches.
We'll find that out. This team has an opportunity to do something that no other team at Chambers can do, is go out there and win back-to-back state champions, and that will be the goal for this team as they enter this 24 season. So we got a lot of different faces out there that are going to be seeing on offense and defense, and we're going to go over those in our next segment. But the schedule, hitting the road early, and then you have that nice middle of the season section there at home and down there in Torbert Allen Field.
Well, there's a lot of, I'm sure everyone has differing opinions about the schedule. It is a little tough to open 3 games on the road. There's no doubt about it, and one of them being a very long trip to Starkville. But I look at that as the Starkville game is a great opportunity. It's a totally different team. It's a big-time game, and I think we should approach it that way. I think everyone probably leans toward an irregular schedule where you get a home and maybe a couple of away, a couple home. But that's not the way the schedule worked out this year. And like I say, we're going to play whoever's there. Having those, as it works out, we could have 5 home games in a row, and in the middle of toward the end of the season. So we'll just play whoever comes up and whoever's on our away schedule, and we'll do our best to go win another region title first.
Absolutely.
Move on from there.
Absolutely. So before we go any further, we want to make sure we thank some of our big sponsors this year and what they've helped us out. Farmers and Merchants Bank, especially for sponsoring the show. Monty Alban for just their hospitality all the time. They're always welcoming everybody around. Taffney Nelson does a great job with the photography and also all of the game day graphics for the football team and most any other sport. And also 2-3 Collective for these banners and these shirts and everything. They do a wonderful job, and we just want to thank them for all they do for Chambers Academy. So we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to dissect some of the numbers from last year and see who might fill in those voids from those graduating seniors. So we'll be back in a second, right after this.
Farmers and Merchants Bank, established in 1934, is your friendly hometown bank with 3 convenient locations in Dadeville, Hughley, and beautiful Lafayette, Alabama. Farmers and Merchants is ready to serve your personal and business banking needs. Great rates, great service. Farmers and Merchants is ready to serve. Give them a call at 334-864-9941. Farmers and Merchants Bank, proud supporters of Chambers Academy.
Craving some Mexican food? Do not think about it twice. Come visit us at Moneman number 3, located Highway 77, 1310 Highway 77, Lafayette, Alabama. We have the best Mexican food around. Cheese dip, quesadillas, farm specials, north specials, share specials, delicious salsa, the best salsa in Chambers County. Do not think about it. And also can meet the Chihuahua. Moneba number 3.
All right, folks, and welcome back here to the Coaches Show here with Jason Allen. Now we're going to talk about a little bit about last year's production, the offense and defense, and try to go over some areas where the younger classmen are going to have to step up this year.
Well, it's always interesting as you and I go out and we start doing our preseason practice reviews. You're trying to catch up with that roster. You're trying to remember the names and make sure you know where everyone is. And probably about game 9, we'll have that down pat. I mean, we'll be spot on with it then.
I think I got it finally knocked down once we left Crampton Bowl last fall.
Well, I'm not sure I got there that quick. We'll just work on that, and it's like everything else, Chet. Every season, every team is really new. You have your returning guys, but it's just not the same situation, and every team you're going to play is the same. They're going to be new. So that sameness is the difference. They're going to all be different, and we're going to be different. So,
yeah, we're going to talk about that offense last year that was averaging about 43 points a game. The offense was led by senior Cole Baker, who put up over 1,600 yards and 16 touchdowns. So the replacement coming in this year will be Landon Hand at quarterback, most snaps. So he's not new to the position. He's been back there before, but he will be the helmsman out there this year for the Rebels. And they'll also be looking to replace senior Kareem Henry, who departed. He actually had almost 1,200 yards receiving and 13 touchdowns.
And blazing speed. I mean, speed, as they always say, speed kills. And I'll tell you, Kareem could get outside and really give defenses trouble.
Yep, and our 2 returning running backs, though, this year, Luke Tarver and Jacob Norgard, who just lit up the scoreboard last year with over 3,000 yards of rushing, almost between both of them. They were averaging 11 yards a touch and 43 rushing touchdowns. And that's just amazing numbers right there. And
you and I talked about this at practice the other day. You look at those very gaudy numbers, and we have to stop and think about how much time those guys spent on the bench. I mean, we did get big leads in a lot of games, and they were out. I mean, Coach moved 2s in, and we went from there. And both players missed a full game, at least one full game. I think Jacob might have missed a little bit more because he had an ankle that got nicked up somewhat, and everybody was really careful with him. But those 2 guys, based on last year, put up an awful lot of offensive numbers.
Yep, they sure did. So it's great to have them in the backfield there for their senior year. On defense, the defense last year was just amazing, averaging less than 10 points a game. They held their opponent to some big names that are going to have their spot filled. Ryan Smith, who had over 56 tackles on the year. Austin Brooks, he was just a nemesis down there on the line. He would create so much havoc on there.
Havoc is the right word.
Yeah, 51 tackles. And our Kyle Hand, Sure Hands, was in the secondary back there. He's gone. So a lot of holes that the defense are going to have to fill. Some of these younger guys are going to be stepping up on the defensive side of the ball. So on the offense, like I said, you got Landon Hand coming back in or starting at quarterback this year. He had some limited action last year, filling in for Cole Baker. And the running backs, I said, are returning Luke and Jacob. And then also T.J. Daniel is going to be thrown in the mix back there too as well.
Well, if we just get into the kind of memories we have of last year, that defense, when you were talking about the guys we're going to replace, and there's also one more there, Ryan Ford had 44 tackles. Yeah. And Kareem had a slug of interceptions, 4 or 5 interceptions. So those are 2 more really valuable defensive guys. But if you just look at the production that's going to come back, we've got 2 outstanding defensive ends that play way beyond their grade level, great speed and great athletic ability, and I think that's going to solidify kind of the corners there for this defense. And of course, we'll have, Luke will be back on the defensive side and a lot more starters. I certainly expect TJ to be a very important part of that. He'll be on the field the whole time. And we've got some great defensive-minded guys. And Coach Dillon, he does a great job with the defense.
Absolutely.
It's like I remember him saying last year, it's like, you're not going to play in my secondary and just wander around.
Yeah.
You're going to hit people, and you're going to hit people all day and all night.
Yeah, and some of those names are going to be coming up this year. You're going to see more of is, Aiden Anglin back there, Eli Wharton on the edge, just like you just discussed, Gabriel Bridges, Drew Shepard on the edge as well, Sam Smith, and Jacob Bradley. Those are some names that we'll probably be calling a lot more this year, hoping to fill those voids left from those seniors. So,
well, it's going to be, I think, one of the things that I always think about, we'll talk to Coach Dillon about this, it seems to me that as you start the year, it's typical of your defense to be a little bit ahead of your offense. I always thought that way because, the defense, you do have your reads, you do have your schemes, but your job is to go to the ball and hit the ball in mass. And we've always been really good about getting people around the football. That, to me, is just a different process than running an offense when there's an awful lot more moving parts and an awful lot more coordination. And maybe the defense will come out a little bit ahead, but I expect us to be ready to play. I mean, we've seen a couple of practices, at least, scrimmages, and our guys look pretty sharp. So let's just hope that we'll have our mindset right for Friday night in Starkville, and I would be completely shocked if that wasn't the case.
That's right. So as we look into going to Starkville, those guys who may have not got the starting job last year will be up for the task this year, and it will be an exciting game over in Starkville.
Well, just to kind of finish up on that section, remember last year how we talked about how valuable it was to get our twos on the field, not for a series or not to run out the clock. We had our guys come in and play a half or play a quarter. And I think that is really valuable time for a guy who now is going to step into a starting role this year. And I think it's just a valuable asset for our guys to have in the back of their mind. It's not going to be new to them. They're going to understand the responsibilities and get started and play the full game.
Yeah, it's not going to be new, fresh to them. They're going to know the feel of the game, the hitting, and things of that nature. So, these guys who are now got the starting job, hey, they've been there before, so it'll be a fun time over in Starkville as it gets the season underway, and then we can zoom right through the rest of it.
Well, we're going to do this. We're going to have one of our senior athletes come in here, and we'll introduce him in just a second. We're going to spend just a couple of minutes with our senior and get his take from a player perspective into our show. So we'll take a quick break, and we'll be back in just a moment with that section. It'll be segment 3, and we'll see you in just a minute.
Craving some Mexican food? Do not think about it twice. Come visit us at Monument number 3, located Highway 77, 1310 Highway 77, Lafayette, Alabama. We have the best Mexican food around. Cheese dip, quesadillas, farm specials, north specials, sherry specials, delicious salsa, the best salsa in Chambers County. Do not think about it, and also can meet the Chihuahua, Monument number 3.
Farmers and Merchants Bank, established in 1934, is your friendly hometown bank with 3 convenient locations in Dadeville, Hughley, and beautiful Lafayette, Alabama. Farmers and Merchants is ready to serve your personal and business banking needs. Great rates, great service. Farmers and Merchants is ready to serve. Give them a call at 334-864-9941. Farmers and Merchants Bank, proud supporters of Chambers Academy.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to segment 3 of the Coaches Show tonight. Have a familiar face sitting next to me, Senior Luke Tarver. Luke, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
We wanted to get a little bit of a representation from a player that's going to be on this team. You've been here a good long while. You've been a pretty productive player, I would assume. You realize that, right?
Yes, sir.
Give us your impressions of the preseason and just tell us where you think the team is right now.
Oh, I think we're in good shape. I really do. I think it'll be a good game Friday, and we'll get to test our skills and what we've been working on all summer.
Have you guys watched any film? Have you been able to put your hands on any film about Starkville?
Yeah, they played a game last Friday. We watched it, and last year's film.
Anything stick in your mind about watching that game film?
You know, they got some good players. They got good size, and it'll be a good game.
I think they lost that game 26-7. Was that the final score against Lamar, something like that? So I have not seen that film. I just go through as much of the written stuff as I had. Look, Starkville's a big school. There's 790 students over there, and it'll be a challenge. They're going to have a deep roster, and we're going to do what I think we always do, and what you guys always do. When it comes game time, you get dressed out and you go play as hard as you can play.
Oh yeah, we always will.
All right. Well, I will tell you this. When I was thinking about having you up here to just give us that senior perspective, I thought back to my first ever interview when working with this team. It was the night that we lost at home 2 years ago. It was our second game, and we lost. We were 0-2. And I remember sitting down, and Luke was one of the kids we interviewed. And I said to Luke, it looked great because you guys just didn't quit. Instantly, he looked at me and goes, we weren't raised to quit. Like, don't even go there. So I think that's the mentality that we have on this team. And, Luke, we're looking forward to some big numbers and some big games. And, look, congratulations on last year. But last year's in the past. We got to go get another one going.
Oh, yeah.
So, Luke, when you guys get out there together on especially a big game, going on the road, like going to Montgomery for a championship game or going to Starkville, what do you guys do to keep up the energy and when you're going to an environment you've never been before? Is there something special you do or just not think about it? What?
Oh, no, we don't really think about it. We just go to play.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, hey, it's worked so far, right?
It does. It doesn't matter where we are.
I think that's really the clearest and simplest explanation we can have about this group. Look, we hope you have a great year. We're looking for this team to do big things. You can't win a second title. You can't win two in a row until you win the first, and we've done that. You can't win game two until you win game one. So look at last year. We lost our opener and came roaring back and played. So I have a lot of confidence in this team being ready to play, and no matter what comes up, this CA team is going to play hard, and they're going to play for the whole game. And Luke, thank you again for joining us. We really appreciate you taking the time, and we look forward to a big year.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all.
All right, thank you, buddy. We'll be right back.
Farmers and Merchants Bank, established in 1934, is your friendly hometown bank. With 3 convenient locations in Dadeville, Hughley, and beautiful Lafayette, Alabama, Farmers and Merchants is ready to serve your personal and business banking needs. Great rates, great service. Farmers and Merchants is ready to serve. Give them a call at 334-864-9941. Farmers and Merchants Bank, proud supporters of Chambers Academy.
Craving some Mexican food? Do not think about it twice. Come visit us at Monema number 3, located Highway 77, 1310 Highway 77, Lafayette, Alabama. We have the best Mexican food around. Cheese dip, quesadillas, farm special, north specials, sherry specials, delicious salsa, the best salsa in Chambers County. Do not think about it. And also can meet the Chihuahua, Monema number 3.
All right, folks, and welcome back here to the Coaches Show at Monte Alvin. We have our defensive coach, head coach here for the Rebels is Coach Dylan Neesmith. Dylan, how many years have you been now at Chambers?
This is my 9th year.
9th year, wow, it's amazing. You know, it's how quick time flies, you know. You've become a big staple around here and almost a permanent fixture, and we're glad to have you here, and you've done some amazing thing with the defense over the years as the defensive coach for the Rebels. What are some of the things that you had to do in the offseason here to get ready for this year? Is there anything different? Is there a different defensive scheme you're looking at, or or just plug and play with the players you have?
Yeah, no, we're just trying to replace a bunch of really, really good football players. Every senior that was out there on the defense was absolutely critical for us last year. Up front we had Ryan and Big Red in the middle, and Ryan was the most dominant interior lineman in the state. And then with Ryan Ford at inside linebacker, who was always around the football, always made open field tackles, and he wasn't the biggest, the strongest, or the fastest, but he seemed to always be in the right place. And then Kyle was kind of our, voice in the secondary.
Right.
And so, we got some big shoes to fill.
Yeah, we were going over some of those numbers. It was amazing what those guys did on defense last year, their tackles, interceptions, and things of that nature. So, as you look, though, as Sid was talking about how the opportunity the defense had and the offense had last year to get some reps, a quarter in and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
That's critical for this year as you guys develop this defense, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. It's huge. I mean, these guys that are coming up, we've been coaching them since they were in 7th grade, even some of them even before then in Pee Wee, and we're running the exact same stuff. And we've talked about this, kind of Coach Allen talked about this a lot, but, it's been the difference maker in our program is, building a sense of consistency and
a good foundation early on.
Yeah,
and they sit there and just pound on top of it.
Absolutely, understand what we want. At the highest level. We demand the same things out of even the young Pee Wee boys, and it's just it's been a lot of fun, and it's been the difference maker in our program.
Well, Coach, we are not here tonight to talk about a game.
Yeah.
We're just getting ready to go.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you're tired of watching the guys hit each other, and I'm pretty sure they're tired of hitting each other.
They are.
And they want to go hit somebody else.
That's right. They do.
I had made the comment earlier that it looked like the defense was really well organized. They looked like they were doing a great job. And I think, in my mind, it's not all that unusual for a defensive team to be just a little bit ahead early on in the season. Just give us your assessment of where this defensive team you're going to put on the field Friday night stands. Where are they?
This defensive team is going to play really fast. They're going to stop the run. That's what we're going to do first and foremost. Is our goal every game is shut down the run game. And we've got some new faces in the back end that I'm really excited to see them get some playing time this year. So it should be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun to coach this group. Really looking forward. This front that we got, even though we lost those two interior guys last year, this front we got is unbelievable. With the two returning defensive ends, right. Drew and Eli, who played out of their minds last year, and just another year of growth and development, maturity from those guys, right. Getting stronger in the weight room. They've done a great job, and then Gabe and Spencer, those are our two replacements for the guys that we had last year that could be very well just as productive, and that's going to we're going to lean on that defensive line this year.
If I think back to last year and those guys you just mentioned, just from that defensive front. You got a lot of size there. You got a lot of strength there, but you also got great speed.
They're all athletic guys,
right?
Especially those defensive ends. Those defensive ends could play, could play linebacker or outside linebacker for us. And absolutely. And that's kind of something that we've changed over. About 6 or 7 years ago, our defensive ends were big dudes, and not as fleet as foot, and just to take on blocks and all that good stuff. And we've kind of molded into our defensive ends becoming like extra linebackers for us, and those two guys fit the T to a mold. They're big, they're long, they're strong, they're tough as nails, and
I will tell you the one thing that just pops into my mind thinking about last year with Gabe and with Spencer. You've got big guys there who have time on the field. Nothing's going to be new to them. They're going to understand what to do from the get-go.
There's going to be some bumps and bruises right there on the interior. We're going to do a couple things wrong and be out of place at times, and that's going to happen. It always happens. Right. It was like that the year before when Big Red and Ryan were juniors. They struggled, at times to stay sound, and so there's going to be some, give and goes right there. But they're going to play hard and they're going to play fast, right. And it's we'll be able to make great adjustments on the fly.
When you go into a game like this, not knowing that opponent very well, it's your season opener, and you've got some big shoes to fill, as we said, on that team. Do you, as a coach, have in your mind do you anticipate making any changes in case something isn't working the way you want it to? Do you have that plan in your mind?
No, because we're not going to change what we do because what we do works when we do it right. And the kids know that, and everything happens. There's an answer for it. We just got to be able to answer that bell without saying too much. We're not going to change what we do. We may change some things in the back end, or we may change some things up front, but our system is going to be the exact same. It just may look a little different.
And to me, that is just such a huge advantage. You've got that core system that these kids have all grown up in, and they understand. And by the way, we really want to give a shout out to the players. We've got a full table in the back, and we appreciate that support. Good to see them here. But I think, like you always say, and I mentioned what you had said to us last year, guys on your defense are all going to hit.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That is the number one priority. If you're in the game, you got to be able to tackle.
Right.
That's the number one criteria for being on the defense, and you got to be able to take home blocks, and that's been absolute staple for us.
You mentioned something a second ago about maturity. Me and Sid were down there at the field watching some practice, and we noticed, Bruce said, we kind of looked at her and goes, man, these guys look so young, And we say that about every year.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the season, we're like, man, how did they not grow up or what?
They will, yeah. It's been a blessing. The sophomore class going to juniors, they've really taken a step up. They've played a lot of meaningful football for us, and with a smaller senior class, you got to lean on a couple of those, underclassmen.
But as a coach, and you see that maturity as those guys go through that each week, that must be one of the rewarding factors of being a coach, to see those guys, go through that process.
I remember when Luke and Drew were, Pee Wee, that was my, and this little bitty tots, running the same stuff that we're doing now. That's what's so fun to me. Every year I've been here, the longer I've been through the system, it's fun to watch these guys grow up and mature, and just not mature, not only physically, but spiritually. It's an absolute honor.
Yeah.
And one of the things I would think you see as you go through the year with every team is you see different levels of leadership along with that maturity. You see guys who step up in a different way maybe than you expected, and some that you just absolutely knew it was coming.
Yeah, Jason has challenged those younger guys to take leadership roles, and they've answered. They've absolutely answered.
Well, Coach, what are we going to win by Friday? At least?
I don't know. As long as we got one more than them, then we're all right.
That's right.
We want to go down there and pick up a win, but I know that we're gonna go down there and play hard.
Absolutely.
I hope it's like last year, Chet, when we were trying to call games and you just didn't have enough time to name the players around the ball.
Oh yeah.
Because there are 5 blue jerseys or white jersey, whatever it was around it.
You should be able. We want to be able to throw this sheet over the top of all 11 guys.
The blanket approach, right?
That's right. That's exactly right.
Bringing the blanket approach back to Starkville, right?
The bed sheet mentality.
That's right. So, Coach, thanks for joining us up here, and we'll be with you Friday over in Starkville, cheering you guys on and bringing the game to folks who can't make it over there.
All right, sounds good, guys.
Best of luck. We'll be back in a second after this.
Farmers and Merchants Bank, established in 1934, is your friendly hometown bank. With 3 convenient locations in Dadeville, Hughley, and beautiful Lafayette, Alabama, Farmers and Merchants is ready to serve your personal and business banking needs. Great rates, great service. Farmers and Merchants is ready to serve. Give them a call at 334-864-9941. Farmers and Merchants Bank, proud supporters of Chambers Academy.
Craving some Mexican food? Do not think about it twice. Come visit us at Moneman number 3, located Highway 77, 1310 Highway 77, Lafayette, Alabama. We have the best Mexican food around. Cheese dips, quesadillas, farm specials, north specials, sherry specials, delicious salsa, the best salsa in Chambers County. Do not think about it, and also can meet the Chihuahua, Moneman number 3.
All right, folks, and welcome back here to the Chambers Academy Sports Live Coaches Show with Jason Allen. We do have the man himself up here with us. Jason, thanks for joining us. About ready to kick off the 24 season here. How are things been looking so far over the summer and everything since last year's championship game?
Well, it's hard to believe that another year has come back around. Last year was just really an incredible year. Look at all these guys in here, all these fans.
Absolutely.
I know everybody's excited for some football season to kick off. And, I've been missing this, and I know they have, and here we go again.
That's good. Hey, we're so excited. Me and Sid or Dave are always texting, hey, man, you ready for this? Because this is the fun time of year for us, I know for you guys as well. So as we go and we just talked to Dylan about some of the shoes that have to be filled, how are you feeling with the guys coming up in those positions? Are you comfortable? Is there anything you need to worry about or anything?
Yeah, well, it's been a really good off season. Our kids have worked really hard. We've had a really good batch of freshmen come up to sophomores, really good class, and then everybody else is a year older. It's the same system they've been running their whole life, so that's really an advantage for kids coming into our system or moving up to the varsity. It gives them a chance to compete for playing time as sophomores, and we're going to count on some of those guys to we're going to lean on them a little bit Friday night, but we got a lot of guys back coming with some experience, and we're excited to see what kind of football team we're going to put on the field Friday night.
Yeah.
Coach, not at all to try to put you on the spot, but just as the preseason is winding down, I guess it's really wound down. This is game week. Are there anything that surprised you in the fall practice, whether it be something you're concerned about or something you're really pleased with?
Yeah, well, I think our kids. I've been pleased with our physicality. I feel like that our kids they understand for us to be good, we got to play with an edge, a hardness, a physical attitude,
right.
And I've seen that in practice. Our guys are kind of tired of hitting on each other right now. They're ready to hit another team,
Yep.
and so that's understandable. It's been a while, but I've been pleased with how they've grown up a year. They're playing faster, and our kids understand that we got to be physical to play our best kind of football.
Is there anything moving into the 3A bracket that is different or something, that as a fan that would seem different than being in 2A?
It's going to be different teams, It's going to be different rivalries. It's going to be different fan bases that we're going to visit
Right.
different campuses, And so Chambers Academy has not played Morgan Academy since 1993. Chambers Academy has not played some of the schools that, like Monroe Academy. I don't know that we've played Monroe Academy in the history of our school. We could cross over and play them in the playoffs.
Right.
Fort Dale. We'll open up with Fort Dale. We'll open up next week with Fort Dale, but we haven't played Fort Dale. I don't remember Chambers Academy ever playing Fort Dale.
I looked it up. We have a 1-1 record with them against them.
And
We've
it's been a
won
long
them.
time.
It's been a long time.
Well, I'll tell you how long ago that was. They were called Fort Dale South Butler. Okay? There was two schools.
Wow.
So that they've separated off and came together.
Wow.
So, it's been a long time for some of those schools. Evangel Alabaster, that's not a AISA team, but that'll be the first time we'll play them. They're an established, really good program. A good friend of mine coaches them. And then some of the other teams are, we played Valiant Cross,
Right.
but not a lot. And, of course, this Friday, Starkville, Mississippi. It's always exciting and fun to do something new, to play somebody new. We kind of wondered if we could schedule this game, if we should. And I felt like that it was something that would make our kids work harder this summer.
I think it's very exciting, Coach. I think the things you talk about with the scheduling adds just a different level. I mean, I really think it can be exciting. Certainly going to Mississippi and playing in this new stadium against a large school like Starkville, I think it's a great thing for this team to be able to go do.
I agree. We're going to find out a lot about our team. We're going to make some mistakes. The things that I'm looking for is that we don't beat ourselves. I thought last year against Lee Scott, we kind of beat ourselves. We turned the football over. and we've talked about that this summer. We've really worked hard on that. Is we can't get beaten to special teams. We gave up a kickoff return the first play of the season last year, and we had 3 turnovers in that game. We didn't have 3 turnovers in a game the rest of the year, and we won 12 in a row. So we got to go over there and play sound football. I think our kids will. We're going to be physical. We just got to keep the ball off the ground. We can't make mistakes with snaps and things like that are detrimental to our chance to win the game.
A quick question, Jason. Is that a home and home?
Yes, they'll come to us next year.
Okay, cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I did a little bit of research and looking at philosophies, as far as the school and their statement of purpose and things like that, they're very much like our school. They're a Christian school. They have this desire to raise really good people, not just play football. They want to have great, sound students and move them in a great, sound way into their lives. And I think that's really what we go for. I think that's what your program is about, and I think that's what our school is about. So I think there are a lot of similarities in these two schools. They are much bigger. But I just think it's a great idea for us to have that kind of different exposure and get this game going early in the season. Let our kids experience that, take the good with the bad, and maybe come away with a big win on the road.
Yeah, that would be nice. If I had to compare this school to a school we played in the past, I would compare them to Lee Scott. As far as, I don't know if they're quite as big as Lee Scott, but they are a bigger school. Just looking at them from they're in a college town like Lee Scott. Just a lot of similarities, and they got a good football tradition. They won a state championship in 2020, and their kids play really hard. I'm impressed with them defensively. We're going to have to earn it. They're not going to give us freebies, okay? They're going to make us earn it, and we're going to have to drive the football. And then defensively, we got to keep from giving up the big play. They got a big, tall quarterback that can throw it down the field. They struggled last week offensively, but I don't know how good Lamar School was, and I think they're pretty good. They had some athletes, and they gave them fits. So the key for us in the ball game is going to be, as it always is, every time we play, is we got to stop the run.
Right.
Okay? And we can't give up big plays. We got to make people drive the football on us. And so they'll be a good team, and it'll be a good test, and we'll find out a lot about ourselves, but that's the way I like it. I'd rather go play somebody that's a good football team than go play somebody that we know we're going to beat before we ever walk out there.
Well, I think you said something very important in that. You're going to learn an awful lot about this team before we drop down into our region play. And as you've always said to us, region play is critical. So we've got the goal of going over there and winning that football game, but also learning about our team and being ready to come back here and get started on a regional schedule.
Yeah. Last year's team kind of followed that blueprint. We stumped our toe early,
right?
But we regrouped. We figured out what we were good at. Our kids kept believing, and you saw what happened. We didn't let that one game be the end-all, be-all. Now, I'd like to learn after a win this time, but it is what it is. We're going to learn. We're going over there to learn about ourselves Friday night and hopefully get a win.
One of the things last year, I'll just throw this out there. You have always talked to us about turnovers and big plays. And in the opening game, when we gave up an opening touchdown return, I didn't even want to talk to you after that. I did not want to see you. I didn't want to talk to you, so I'm sure the players didn't want to. Big play. But even with that loss, this team did mature quickly. And we won 12 games in a row and a title.
Yeah.
And we sat here on a lot of Thursday nights and used the word special team. Not special teams, but a special team. And I think that's what we had last year. And we're looking forward to this group becoming one as well.
Yeah, when you're a young coach, things like that doesn't seem as important to you. But we've lost 2 football games, and one was the last game of the season in 2022 in the semifinals, and the other game was Lee Scott. In both those games, we gave up a kickoff return, and that was the difference in the game.
True.
Okay, so we've been thinking about that all year. I've been talking to them about it all summer. We're going to do our best to make sure the first kickoff is not run back.
Yeah, I would think we probably are going to be ready for that one.
We got a couple of different plans on how we're going to approach kickoffs this year. Excuse me. We'd love to kick it in the end zone, and we know it's not going to get run back.
Right.
But
I think you described to us last year the most deflating play is the kick return for a touchdown for any team. It just takes the winds out of your sail and just takes everything away from you on something.
think
like that.
about it. If you give up a kickoff return, it is either the opening play of one of the two halves, or it's right after you scored a touchdown.
Yep.
Or points.
Yep.
So it's like you coming off the feeling of we accomplished something, and then they just run it back. That kills all your momentum.
Get back to even, right where you were before,
Yeah.
or behind. So, that's some good stuff right there. So, I know that we're excited to hit the road and go over to Starkville. It's going to be a 4-hour, a little longer than 4-hour drive over there. So we hope everybody can make it over there. If they can't, we'll have the game, though, ready to rock and roll at 7 o'clock from Stark, Vegas.
We are definitely going to be there. We're going to leave early, and we're going to be there all day.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, Coach, we watched a couple scrimmages. We were there for the scrimmage with Southern last week. We left that thinking the team was, getting itself ready to play after watching that scrimmage and watching the contact. And I asked Dylan earlier about are they tired of hitting each other, and you just kind of echoed that. I think they are ready to go hit somebody else, and we'll probably see a lot of hitting on Friday night.
Yeah, I think the one thing about our team that I'm expecting to see is that we're going to be physical, and that don't matter a whole lot when you're playing the piano or doing gymnastics, but in the game of football, usually the team that's the most physical is going to win.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's absolutely
That's
true.
our goal.
Well, Coach, we really appreciate you guys. You've always been so good to us, and we appreciate you taking the time and coming up here and talking to us as we launch this season. We're going to be here for hopefully 13 more weeks and get going. That would be our plan. But no matter what we do appreciate you guys, and we appreciate these players, and we certainly appreciate the CA family.
Yeah, I'm excited about the season. I think we got some really good players coming back. We got two backs that have proven that they're two of the better players in our league. We got some guys that are stepping. It's their turn to step in up front, but I think we're going to be okay up front. At quarterback, we got a guy that's played quarterback his whole life for me out there, and it's his turn. And I've been really pleased with the way he's led our football team and played. And so I'm excited about our team. Again, I think the key to winning a championship is how do you play defensively. So we've got a few holes to fill there, a really dominant couple of defensive linemen, a really good defensive back that made plays for us last year that we've got to fill in for. But we've got a lot of guys coming back that understand how we play defense in our system. And so we've worked really hard in the kicking game. So we'll see where we're at Friday night. There'll be some things we got to correct, but I'm excited to go kick it off.
Well, one of the things that I always think about when, whether it's a successful year or a mediocre year or a championship year, when you go back that next year, my belief is you're going to have certain players who are going to be fire breathers. They're going to be aching for their chance to fill those shoes. And when you get enough of that kind of mentality on the football field, it usually produces good results. And I think we've probably got that too.
Yeah, it's their turn,
Right.
And you hate to lose players that graduate, and we lost some really good kids.
Sure did.
But I've always taken the approach, I'm glad I had them, to be grateful that I had that time with them. And now it's somebody else's turn to learn and mature and become a really good football player, and hopefully that'll help them be a good person for having been a part of our program. And I appreciate everything that moving parts. When I started here 12 years ago, again for the third time, our football program was nowhere near at the level it is. All the moving parts from our YouTube crew to our fan base, to our cheer team, to our dance team, to everything that goes on with a Friday night event, and just what are things that are going on in our school. It's really exciting. And so this is always a great time of year. Around Chambers Academy, I know everybody's excited for the football season, and we're excited, and I hope that we will represent our town and our school the way that would make everyone proud.
Yeah, it's what we want to do is come out and show what we're doing in the community, the school, and all the the administration and teachers and coaches down there. What a great job you guys are doing, forging our kids through the the learning process of life, and it's very important, and we want to thank you guys for what you do.
Yep.
Coach, thank you very much for being here. And if you want to give us a little taste of it early tonight, we'll take it.
Yeah, well, it's been a while since I said it, but it's great to play for the CNEA.
Thank you, Coach, very much. Folks, we'll be back in just a second.
Farmers and Merchants Bank, established in 1934, is your friendly hometown bank. With 3 convenient locations in Dadeville, Hughley, and beautiful Lafayette, Alabama, Farmers and Merchants is ready to serve your personal and business banking needs. Great rates, great service. Farmers and Merchants is ready to serve. Give them a call at 334-864-9941. Farmers and Merchants Bank, proud supporters of Chambers Academy.
Craving some Mexican food? Do not think about it twice. Come visit us at Moneman number 3, located Highway 77, 1310 Highway 77, Lafayette, Alabama. We have the best Mexican food around. Cheese dip, quesadillas, farm specials, north specials, sherry specials, delicious salsa, the best salsa in Chambers County. Do not think about it. And also can meet the Chihuahua. Moneman number 3.
All right, folks, and welcome back here to Monte Alban. Here we're going to close out the coaches show, the first one of the 24 season. You know, great turnout from all the fans and especially the athletes. We appreciate them coming out here. And we also want to thank Farmers and Merchants Bank for sponsoring the show again this year, as well as Taffany Nelson for everything that she does around the school with all the graphics and all the picture taking and capturing the memories that we have at CA.
And listen, you know, we say this during the game. We certainly appreciate our sponsors because they're just so important to us. But we really appreciate these young athletes taking their time and coming out here tonight and being with us. And the CA family, you know, it means so much to us to be able to do this. But I just want to reiterate, we appreciate this coaching staff taking the time to sit down with 2 knuckleheads like us and try to get through interviews about football games. So, you know, I really appreciate both our coaches tonight. And Coach Jackson will be with us. He couldn't be here tonight because of work schedule. But we look forward to hopefully 13 weeks of this, Chet.
Yeah, so, hey, reminder, the coaches show will be on Thursday nights, not Tuesday. This is just a little bit early because folks may be leaving early to go to Starkville and all the preparations for that long trip over there. But regular season, once we get into the season, will be a Thursday night, 7 o'clock here. And we want to, again, also thank 2-3 Collective for the shirts and all the banners and everything that go on for us. So thank you to all of them, and thank you guys for watching. And catch us Friday night at 7 o'clock from Stark Vegas.
Absolutely.
Go Rebels.
See you later.